What's up everybody, Silver here with another Halo 5 Guardians Achievement Guide. This time we're doing Harbinger, which has completed the breaking on Legendary difficulty without the entire fire team dying. So, this one's a little bit tough. You gotta do this on Legendary without all of your team wiping. You can do this on co-op or solo. I decided to do it solo just to show you that it is possible. And I have a few tricks up my sleeve here. So to start off in this first encounter here, it's pretty basic, just a bunch of crawlers up ahead of you. So just headshot all those guys with your Magnum. And you have an assault rifle as well to start off this level. And I like to just hang back, don't go too far ahead because there are a bunch of them up there. So if they start firing at you from all sides, then you probably will die. So don't go crazy and just charge right ahead. Just hang back, slowly and surely take them out with headshots, and we'll be able to roll through this part pretty easily. As I go through this first section, you'll see me move my team up using the ordering system in Halo 5. So I'll move them up to about the middle, towards the left right here. I just did it right there. Just slowly and surely move them up so they help you out by killing some enemies, and they also help you out by distracting enemies, so they won't all be firing just at you. They'll be firing at you and the rest of your team, so that helps out a lot. So just move up. We have a little bit of Magnum left, so we'll just kill as many crawlers as we can until we're out of ammo, and then we'll switch to another weapon. There's a bunch of Forerunner weapons throughout this whole level, so we're going to switch to those and use those a lot as we continue. You can see I'm almost out of my Magnum, and my assault rifle I don't really ever use too much anyway. So since we moved up, you can now see that there's some soldiers and watchers in the mix with crawlers as well, so that's not cool. We're going to take out the watchers first because obviously all the other enemies are twice as annoying to deal with when the watchers are around because of the fact that they could heal enemy units, they could shield them, like you could see that one was shielding that guy with a hard light shield earlier. So that's not cool. You could see that watcher was just healing the soldiers and crawlers up there with that red beam of light that they shine on enemies. That just means they're repairing their armor that we slaved away at taking down, so that's not cool. We want the damage we inflict to remain. So now that the watchers are dead, we can go ahead and take care of the remaining crawlers and soldiers. You can see I was running back and forth because obviously I was low on shield and health, so I just kept running away, running back, taking out one enemy, then running away again to get my shield back up. Rinse and repeat. Not too difficult of a strategy to follow, except for those times where you get really excited and you just run in there and try to kill everybody all at once. But on Legendary, it doesn't work that way oftentimes. So now we've moved up to this last section of the first area here, and there are going to be more soldiers and crawlers, and there are going to be a couple knights, which is no good, because those guys can tear you up pretty quickly. They could land one nice shot and you will be dead, so that's not good at all. So you can see I grabbed a light rifle out of the Forerunner weapon stash there. There are 5 weapon stashes with light rifle ammo at the end of this section here. So I'm going to grab a bunch of light rifle ammo because at this point I'm just sticking with that. And you can just lay into the soldiers from afar. You could shoot from down below here, or you could go up along the rim where I'll be later on. You can see my fire team here is dying, but I'm not really paying attention. A lot of the times they'll press forward and they'll be in a position where if you go and try to revive them or help them out or whatever you do, heal them, however you call it, you'll just die yourself because they're kind of in a bad area, like right up next to a knight or something like that. So at this point, I'm just trying to pick off enemies that are not the knights because I really want to focus on the knights one-on-one when I do engage them. So I'm just trying to clear out the area here basically so I can fight the knights head-to-head without having to worry about crawlers and soldiers behind me and to the sides of me. So this little station there that I was just at also has light rifle ammo. So I'm basically just going to use the light rifle for the most part for the rest of the level because there's a bunch of stations with ammo for that gun. So here you can see when you shoot off the sides of their, whatever it is, the back, their little backpack they have there, they freak out and they yell at you, which opens up their faceplate, and you can headshot them. You can see I headshot the first one, and I'm trying to shoot off the glowing orange thing on the back of that one, and he opened up his faceplate again, and I missed that one 2 times, so we're just going to have to go to plan B for this guy. You could take out the knights pretty quickly. As you can see, the first one, I shot off the back of one side of his carapace or whatever it is, and then he yelled at me. And you want to do that when he's facing you because then it'll be easier to get a headshot. But I did land the headshot, and it was pretty quick and easy to kill the knight that way. But if you miss the headshot twice, obviously, you gotta move on to other options. So plan B is the incineration cannon of his buddy that I just killed. So hopefully you kill one of the 2, and then you can use the incineration cannon like so and destroy the remaining guy. And we'll just move on to the next section with an incineration cannon and a full thing of light rifle ammo. More light rifle ammo right here, and the same on the other side. And we're going to move up here. I'm going to skip ahead on this elevator / gondola ride. But right when you get to the end, we immediately want to start sprinting. So I'm going to skip ahead here. And we've made it to the end here. and we want to jump up here on the right, jump up here, and then jump up to the left, and then boost to the right to land up here, and we are totally skipping the bottom section. Unfortunately, we do still need to kill them. It's just a lot easier to kill them from up here. You can't actually progress forward without killing these guys, unfortunately, because you have to load in additional enemies before this door up above me opens, so that's not cool. It'd be great if we could find a way to open this door without having to fight these people. Speedrunners, get on it. I found, obviously, an easy way to get up here. It's just the fact that the door won't open without these guys dying, so we gotta work on that. The game just came out, though, so we got a lot of time to work on these strats. But anyway, you can see them up here. There's light rifle ammo up here behind me, so I shouldn't be running out of light rifle ammo anytime soon, so I can take out most of the enemies, or all the enemies from up here. There's just crawlers down there, along with those 2 Forerunner soldiers with the splinter turrets, so I took out one already. And the other one, I'm just going to take out right now. As you can see, it's pretty easy to just lay into them with your light rifle, and they can't really get a good shot on you from up here. And to clean up, I'm going to go down into here. Kind of a nice little sniping area. Light rifle sniping. It's not really sniping, but you know. Pick off all the enemies. And we're pretty much done with this section. We do have to go down and spawn the other enemies, though, unfortunately. Maybe in co-op, one of you could hit the load zones while the other one just stands up here by the doorway. I don't know. That might be a viable option. But anyway, you can see I grabbed more light rifle ammo, and I'm just going to jump down and then go up normally the way I would so I could spawn those enemies in I was talking about. So here we go. Everyone's dead except for one of my people, I think. Fred, I think, might be alive. Where is he? Oh, is he above me? There might be some crawlers up top here, so watch out for those guys. Don't think everyone's dead. 2 or 3 or 4 maybe of the crawlers tend to stay up here, so watch out for that. So just take those guys out. And then once you get to this point, you can see that ball of whatever, slip space, where they all just warp into existence. And there's 4 crawlers to start here, and they totally destroyed Fred immediately. So I'm just going to help him up real quick. And then he'll move forward, or I'll tell him to move forward to kind of distract the enemies. You can see that arrow, I just told him to move up. And he'll distract most of the fire, hopefully. Will gravitate towards him, and I can just pick off all these guys with my light rifle. They're pretty easy, it's just crawlers for this point right here. And you can just headshot all of them, and they will die, obviously. Oh good, Linda's alive, and Kelly. That's fantastic. Alright, so I'm going to tell these people to move up ahead of me. And I actually die once, but you could avoid negating the achievement by just reverting to your last checkpoint. So you'll see me do that one time, but you can do it as many times as you want. Just revert to your last checkpoint, and it will keep the achievement alive. So whenever you die, just start, revert to last checkpoint, and you can keep going no matter how many times you die. So you can see I told blue team to go up one side, and I wrapped around the other, and I'm immediately going to sprint this way. And unfortunately, I did not tell blue team to keep going. You can see I just activated the arrow, issuing them orders to move ahead. So that's why I'm going to die here, because all of these people are fighting me right now instead of focusing on blue team as well. So I'm going to revert to my last save, which is right here, and I told blue team to move up more quickly. Preferably, you would want them to move up faster than that. But, unfortunately, I had that checkpoint right there. And you can see it's going to work out, thankfully. But by going up here, if blue team was further up, it would be much easier to do that. I kind of almost died there again, even. But by doing that, these turrets cannot fire at me. They cannot turn. Well, actually, they can turn, but there's the doorway in between me and the turret when I have my back up against that wall. So they can't actually hit me. So it's basically me versus 2 soldiers rather than me versus 2 soldiers and 2 turrets. Because if you just stand at that doorway after you kill the soldiers, your blue team will wipe out the turrets for you. And those guys all need to die before this door opens. So that's kind of the issue we have to deal with. Instead of just running up and through this doorway without killing anybody in this section, we got to kill everybody, unfortunately, which is hecka lame. But we're at the next section here, and we're immediately going to go to the left. You can go to the right as well. It's better to fight the enemies from these little curving ramps rather than just standing in the doorway. You take less fire up here, and it's easier to just single out one enemy rather than trying to focus on a bunch of enemies at once. But you can see there's a bunch of soldiers, watchers, and crawlers in this section. And there was the warden that was going to fight us, and fortunately Cortana was like, oh hell no, get out of here, warden. Thank you, Cortana. I know there's the big boss battle where we have to fight 3 wardens, but I have a nifty skip ready and waiting for you. It might take a few tries, but it's very consistent, very easy to pull off once you do get it down. So, since we have that skip and we have Cortana warping this warden out of the level, we don't have to fight any wardens actually throughout this entire level. But anyway, enough about later in the level. Let's focus on this part in the level. You do want to watch out. Occasionally a soldier may warp up to the ramp you're on like he did there. That usually doesn't happen though, but you do want to keep an eye on people coming near the ramp. And we're going to take out this Watcher, like I mentioned earlier in the video. They like to shield and heal enemy units, so it's very annoying to deal with all the enemies if they're being shielded and healed constantly. So take out those Watchers first or close to first, just make them a priority. And again, we're just slowly and surely taking out these enemies. There is a bunch of light rifle ammo on the top of this ramp and on the opposite ramp on the other side of the room. And there is also more light rifle ammo if I fall off the ramp. If I go up to the top of the ramp and then just fall down over the edge, there's another Forerunner crate of light rifle ammo. So we have plenty of light rifle ammo to deal with all of these enemies. In a second, you'll see me grab some ammo from the top of the ramp like I was talking about. And a thing of note is there is some glass, or it's not really glass because it would probably shatter, but in between the railing and the ramp floor, you could see there is, you can't really see right now because I'm not looking at it, but there is a pane of see-through whatever it is. It's probably not glass because that would shatter, but you're safe from taking any damage for the most part. There are a couple gaps, one at the bottom of the ramp and one at the top of the ramp where the railing and the ramp floor meet, and in between there's glass or see-through, whatever. But use that to your advantage, and just be aware that there are some holes in it, and you could take some shots. So just know where your cover is and where your cover is not. But we're just taking out these guys. I could tell blue team to move up and take on these guys, but I kind of like them back here. If you tell them to move forward, they tend to die, so I'm just kind of taking them out. Here's the weapons cache I was talking about, with more ammo for your light rifle. In there where I'm zooming is the skull. It might disappear if you take too long. You might have to run up to it right away. I'm not sure 100% about that. But if you're looking for the skulls, just check out my channel. It has the skull guides and everything up here. And a bunch of the Halo 5 achievements and most of the Master Chief Collection achievements, including Lazo and speedruns. I'm kind of promoting my channel now at this point because I have already said a lot of what I need to say for this guide, and it's a lot of repeating strategies at this point. But we're going to hop on the gondola here, and I'm going to skip ahead again because it's just a minute or so of riding on a gondola. So here we are at the end of the gondola, and oddly, blue team warped towards the end of the ride there, which is kind of weird. And here, to start off this section, there are 4 soldiers that warp in, so definitely something that is more tough to deal with than the crawlers. This section is kind of like the first section of the game. It's kind of recycled geometry. Almost. It's kind of the same setup. I don't think it's exactly the same. But just deal with them as you would normally. Just kind of hang back. And I told blue team to move forward there to distract these people. You don't really want to tell people or tell your fire team to focus on one enemy. Generally, I've found if you just tell them to move towards a group of enemies, they do a much better job of fighting all of those enemies than if you just tell them to move up and focus on one enemy. It seems like if you tell them to focus on one enemy, they just move up into a pack of enemies and then die immediately. That's just my experience, though. So we still have the incineration cannon, which we've been saving for these turrets right here. They're right up ahead here, I promise. And there it is. You can see it shooting at the floor there. I think it might have been trying to shoot at me, but I'm kind of trying to hide and stay out of its line of sight. I told my team to focus on that for a second, you could see, and I immediately destroyed it right after that. I seem to do that all the time. Whenever I tell someone to focus on this enemy, I tend to headshot them immediately, and they're like, "What enemy were you talking about, Chief? I have no idea what you're referring to." I'm like, "Oh, don't worry about it." But anyway, there is another turret towards the left, one on each side. So I shot an incineration round at it, and then finished it off with a few light rifle rounds. And the incineration cannon is weird in this game. You have to charge it for it to get a full blast of incineration rounds. In Halo 4, you didn't have to do that. You just pulled the trigger and it fired a full blast. But in Halo 5, you gotta charge it up for that full blast. I had difficulty understanding that when I first picked it up. I just thought they totally nerfed the incineration cannon at first, but that is not the case. You just gotta charge it up. So you can see here we're doing a lot of the same of what we did in the first area that looked similar to this. And we're just kind of staying back, shooting people as they appear to us, and trying to not take on more than one person at a time, because you will die quickly if you try to jump into the fray. Total side note, not related to any tactics or strategies, this music playing right now is ridiculously epic. I was kind of surprised at how they used it and placed it in this game, though. This is a big battle, but this music is kind of reminiscent to the big fight with the 2 scarabs in Halo 3. on the level of the Covenant towards the end. And I would say that this battle in particular is not to that scale. This is a pretty sweet battle, and there's a ton of enemies, and it's a tough area. But that section in Halo 3 was big and wide open, and there was a lot of vehicle combat and explosions, and this just doesn't have that. So it's kind of weird that they've placed it here. Obviously, this being the last mission that you play as Blue Team, they probably wanted to throw it in here, but it was kind of weird for me at least. That's just my personal opinion. But anyway, back to it. There's a bunch of soldiers in this area, and there are a couple knights at the end as well. So we're just taking them out like we do normally, just from afar with a light rifle. Get them to pop their armor off, and then you could shoot them either in the torso, upper torso area. You can see the glowing parts are where they're vulnerable and will die from one shot. So you could kind of, quote-unquote, headshot them in the chest, or you could just headshot them in the head as well. Kind of a unique, cool way. I like what they did with the soldier models and the knights. They kind of upgraded to a somewhat of a mini-boss in this game, and they made each enemy so that it was a unique fighting experience when you fought against each of them. In Halo 4, you kind of dealt with knights the same way as you dealt with elites. You could just pop their shield and then headshot them. Although they did behave differently, obviously. They had different weapons, and they could warp to different sides of the room. They could do a kind of warp charge and melee you, but how you went about killing them was pretty much the same. Pop the shield and then headshot them. So it's cool with the soldiers, you gotta pop their shield, and then you could chest shot or headshot them, and then the knights, obviously, you could shoot their gigantic carapace or whatever it is off of them, and then you could headshot them if you're quick enough, but if not, you gotta keep going at them. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, back to this actual walkthrough. You can see there's these enemies with laser sights. Those are binary rifles, so you don't want to poke your head out for too long with them looking at you. You can see their helmets are glowing red as well, so you want to make sure that you prioritize those guys because they could take you out in one hit. But on the upside, they have like no armor, so you could just kill them in one headshot immediately. I guess they trade out their armor for better scopes or something, so they could more easily snipe you. I don't know, but you could just headshot them. So quickly take out those guys before you start fighting other guys. If you do die from a binary rifle, you can't be revived. You just disintegrate, so that's something as well. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you die, just revert to your last checkpoint, and you will be able to still go after this achievement, and you won't have to start over. So we are approaching the end here. We just got a couple more people to take out. Like this knight, we were able to break off his back, and then he'll yell like I mentioned earlier, and we witnessed earlier many times, and I headshot that one, fortunately. And this guy's just warping right up to me. Watch out. There are a few of these enemies, these soldiers, that have scatter shots, so don't get too close to them because they could take you out in one hit. And there's still a sniper alive. Is that it? Nope, another sniper. Alright, are we done here? Are we done here? Nope, there's another knight still. So you can see I'm going to shoot off his back. I remember this now. And he's not facing me, so it's tough to headshot him. So you want to do that when he is facing you, like I mentioned way back in the beginning of the video. So he will yell towards you, and it's much more easy to shoot him in the face. Like that. And there's another scattershot guy. So watch. Oh, he's warping up right next to me. I'm just going to mark him so my entire team focuses on him. They should focus on him because there are no more enemies, so that should be the only thing they're concerned about, is the one remaining one. And I was going to pick up the worst possible weapons, like a bolt shot and I don't know what else, just to show you that you don't need to do anything. We're pretty much done with this level since we have this skip coming up for the wardens, and I will tell you exactly what to do for that. So basically, we are going to start off by sprinting into the room, and we're going to go to the left. You could do it on the right as well, but I just like to go to the left. It's just, you know, user preference, whatever you want to do. Jump over here, or you can run around it real quick. Jump and boost and just go as fast as you can to this lift, and then ground pound onto this pillar. And we're going to turn to the left and sprint and boost and then ground pound in midair and land on that. That was kind of sloppy, but you could make it much more easily, much more cleanly. You can see I had to clamber at the end there, so I barely made it to the edge, but I made it. So that's all you got to do really is go over the lift, ground pound onto the pillar, turn towards that edge and just sprint off, and then thruster pack over a little bit, and then mid-air you want to go into another ground pound and aim at that ledge and then ground pound onto it. And you may have to clamber up onto it. You may not have to if you do it better than I just did there, but that is it, guys. And we are done with those 3 wardens. We don't have to fight them at all. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Click like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Follow me on Twitter at HaloCompletion and on Twitch at SilverScorpion4, and I will see you guys later for more Halo achievements.